That's the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Connor and Stone. Dan is out today, but no matter, because we called up the CIA. We didn't call up the CIA. We don't like those people. We called up the IMF, and we got ourselves a secret agent, none other than Movie Talk with Brock, here to discuss with us today the Mission Impossible franchise. And if you guys are faithful listeners to our podcast, you'll realize that this is going to be a little bit different of an episode. Usually what we do is we cover certain movies out of a franchise. We discuss them, what we like, what we didn't like. We kind of review them. Not today. This is more of a celebration of Ethan Hunt and all the times that he saved us from nuclear warfare a lot of times. But yeah, so what we're going to do today is going to be a little bit interesting. We're just going to discuss elements of the films. We're going to discuss our favorite movie and why that is. So maybe like a little mini review. But then also our favorite stunt from Cruise, our favorite villain from the franchise, our favorite side character, which there's a lot to choose from. There might be some OGs that we pick, but there's a lot to choose from. Our favorite mask reveal, our favorite location for where a film took place all across the world. Don't know how that's going to work with the tariff situation or in the future with stuff like that. But and then also our ranking of the franchise. But yes, Brock, Movie Talk with Brock is with us. Hold on, we just got done. Me and him just got done doing a review and discussion about the Final Reckoning, which we will include that. I don't know. We'll see if the Final Reckoning comes into any of our lists or our favorites as this episode goes on. But what is this number fourth time you've been on the podcast?
It is, yes, which is crazy.
Okay. All right. We're almost you might be tied for the leader right now. I don't know who that is, but
Jeremiah is at 5, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Connor's like on it when it comes to this stuff. He's got like that's like the information that he gets ingrained in his brain.
This podcast means something to me, Stone.
Okay, it means something to me. You know, also means something to me, Brock, because he's up with us with 2 children now, which is insane that he's on with us this morning. Appreciate you being here again, my friend, for a second episode this morning.
Look yes. Yeah. Who would have thought we got here, right? Paul Rudd meme, right? Look at us.
Dude, speaking of Paul Rudd meme, Sean Fennessy, or not Sean Fennessy, Sean Harris? What's his last name? I'm confusing Sean's. Who's the guy who does Hot Ones?
Yeah, Sean Harris. Yeah.
No. Sean Harris is the one who's the villain who is Solomon Lane. It's Sean Evans.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Wow, there's too many Seans. Sean Evans like came out and basically said like that is like the GOAT who we try to get on, Tom Cruise, and I think it'd be a fun time.
Oh man,
seemed like man's a little bit busy eating popcorn. I wanted to ask you, Brock. We won't discuss it here because we discussed it in our individual review of the Final Reckoning, but. How do you think he keeps up a body like he has with how much popcorn he supposedly eats? Do you think he's buttering in that, or is he just going like bare naked, dry, just the kernels popcorn? What do we think? Is he 2 buckets with the body that we see in Final Reckoning? I don't know about that.
I think Scientology has a
popcorn.
I think Scientology helps a little bit. I'm slightly kidding. I mean, when you are underwater for 30 minutes doing what he does, I mean, and again, that dude was eating some popcorn. We saw it at AMC when we saw it, but yeah, I don't know. Probably fasts a lot, but yeah, he's lean for 62, man.
I mean, hell, he's probably run more in this entire franchise than I'm running my entire life. So
for sure.
I actually did the math on it. Nobody likes my video, but he's probably ran over like 2.5 miles. Something like that. So it's not actually that far. But
he's got to be more.
He does. Well, the thing is, too, that I wanted to find and add it to the end of the video, but I didn't. I wonder how many takes each running sequence they do. Like 5 or 6 takes. I can only imagine like piling those on top of each other over the years. How long, or how far he's gone. But yeah, he can run almost 17 miles an hour, which is wild.
That is.
No, but even in Dead Reckoning, I feel like he had to run at least a little over a mile. Just chasing Henry Cavill.
That's Fallout.
My bad, Fallout.
You're good. The names are confusing. So what we got? So I told Connor, because this is the first time Connor's watched these movies, which is also interesting.
That is.
You said, Brock, you went and saw MI3 in the theaters, right? When it came out?
Yep, I did. That was my first one when it came out. I remember seeing it in theater. Yeah.
I feel like that's a perfect movie for like a 10-year-old man.
Oh, yeah, it was sweet. It was awesome, dude.
He's J.J. Abrams, who's about to come out with a movie with, I think it stars Glenn Powell, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of other people. The way he does his color saturation, it looks like a Michael Bay movie. I mean, it was 1 year before Transformers. Like, you could tell me that Michael Bay directed that movie. I'd be like, yeah, it looks like him. Just the way he, like,
Yeah.
the lighting is, and just how dirty and grimy it looks. It looks like, I mean, Shia LaBeouf could pop up with a Camaro any second. But I don't know how that translates into what we're talking about today. But anyway,
Honestly,
You know,
when I was watching these, a lot of the times it felt very similar to Fast and Furious to me.
Okay, there's no space. Now, if there was another MI movie, if there was going to be one, I could see them maybe going to space.
Yeah,
after
that's
one
what it,
season
like.
of marketing.
That's what like it felt like. They just kept getting more and more like out there. Like,
So I'm interested to hear what your favorite one is, Connor, because you told me, Brock. I think you went somewhere for a second, but Connor, I don't want to give it away, but he told me what his least favorite one was, and that didn't surprise me. But have not told me what your favorite one is. And I think possibly me and Brock have the same. So let's get into our favorite. What is our favorite movie, and why is it our favorite movie? Let me go through them all real quick. Ready? MI 1, 2, and 3, real easy, but then they got into like, let's name these, right? So we got Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning. Even though I think that two of the movies shouldn't have Reckoning in the title when it's not part one and part two, but that's a personal gripe with me. Connor, first up, what is your favorite? Why is it your favorite? Who is your favorite?
I'm having trouble deciding between two.
No.
I know. I'm gonna talk myself into an answer by the end of this. But I'm between Ghost Protocol and Fallout.
Okay. Why
Um,
is that?
Ghost Protocol one. I think Jeremy Renner is like one of the most underappreciated actors working right now. I'm trying to put together a list, but I think he might be my like second best actor outside of the MCU. But I'm also trying to find the right way to word that because I want to do like actors that are mostly known for MCU for who's the best outside of it. Because like Samuel L. Jackson like isn't mostly known for the MCU, so he might be like the best one there. But
Chris Evans has to be the bottom of the list. His post Endgame career has been dog water.
yeah, that's fair. But so I really like Ghost Protocol. I like all the scenes. What's the name of the building? The Burj
Khalifa.
Okay. That whole sequence is just awesome. And then Fallout, I feel like, is just I didn't know Henry Cavill was in this. I've also never
Wow.
seen a James Bond.
That's for an easy that you didn't know
No,
that.
so like I've never seen a James
Wow.
Bond movie either. So I thought the whole double arm pump thing was from a Mission Impossible movie or from a James Bond movie, not a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, pumping the fists out, man.
Yeah. Now the big downfall that does come with, not seeing these after almost, they've been out for 20 years almost, is you do know a lot of spoilers. So I did kind of know that Henry Cavill was a bad guy in this.
Wait, how did you know he's a bad guy in it if you didn't even know he was in the movie?
Because I've seen the clips of like the double arm pump, but then I've also seen like other clips of him like online.
Oh, you just didn't know that was part of Fallout.
I just didn't know it was part of Mission Impossible. Because
That's
like I would
crazy.
see clips of him like, but didn't know that it was in Mission Impossible because like Tom Cruise wasn't included in the clips that I would see or something like that.
I got you. I wanted to ask you though. I fully forgot that I was going to want to discuss this at the very beginning. What did you think of these movies? Because I think you mentioned to me that you're not very high on them as maybe other people are.
I don't think there's a single one that I would say I didn't enjoy and I wouldn't go back and rewatch.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm gonna rave about these like I hear a lot of people do. Maybe on like a rewatch someday down the line, I will. Because like this week, I did watch like 2 movies a night just to get ready for this because I thought we were talking about something completely different. So Monday and Tuesday, I watched the wrong movies. So then I just grinded for the rest of the week. So maybe I didn't appreciate them enough. But I don't know. I think the lowest rating I might have would be a 2.5.
Is it MI2?
I don't know. You have to wait till the end.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
Bro, that could be MI3, Brock. You don't even know.
If it does, I'm logging off.
It's Rogue Nation.
Don't even know. All right, so we got Fallout or Ghost Protocol. Do you know who directed Ghost Protocol, Connor?
Oh, you're
And
getting me
movie
back for when I
directed?
asked you who directed Empire.
Well, it's not that. It's Brad Bird who directed The Incredibles and Ratatouille right before it. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was like kind of his. He probably directed something that was live action before Incredibles. I can't think of that at the top of my head, but yeah, because you have also Michael Giacchino who did the music for both of those as well, and I feel like you feel a lot of the brass instruments of The Incredibles in Ghost Protocol. Dude, I posted on Twitter. There's like these moments where he goes like off, especially when they're in the Kremlin, where he's like, oh, and it's like,
Yeah.
damn, like this feels like a finale already. Like Giacchino's going nuts with the score. I thought it was awesome, but
Well,
good
dude, and
picks.
the funniest part to me for all of these movies was like everyone knows the Leo meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he like leans forward and points. Like that's how I felt this entire time because so many memes have come out of these movies, especially from Ghost Protocol. If you've ever played Call of Duty Warzone or Fortnite or PUBG, and it was him running away from the dust storm, and it was like me when I was looting and my team was already running in away from the gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to ask you though, which is really interesting based on the two films that you mentioned. How did you feel that Jeremy Renner is just poof gone in Fallout? Not there. Poof. No explanation. He's just not there.
Yeah, I don't. It seems like they do that a lot in this franchise. Like,
Yeah, used to. Yeah.
They very
yeah,
much
I'm
do.
blanking on her name, but the black girl from number 2,
Thought he
I
didn't.
I
Yeah.
wanted to see more of her. It just wasn't there, and all of a sudden he's getting married in 3. Like, what
How it
happened?
goes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the good thing about Christopher McQuarrie, and I mean Brock even said it on a review of the Final Reckoning. Perhaps like I think maybe Tom saw like the MCU and the continuation of stories and got really inspired by that. But also the fact that they have the same director now because it was
Yep.
the first three were first four were different directors. So
Yeah.
when Rogue Nation came, there was a lot of more of like a concise vision. I think with Tom and the director Christopher McQuarrie as well. So that really added to the last four films, the second half of the films. But
Which I do think helps.
yeah, it's kind of depressing, especially after the whole three is very emotional, and then four just feels nothing like three.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
No, and I also just think it's funny because, like, when I turned on number 1, the first thing that went through my head was, what does Marcellus Wallace look like?
What's
Does
it
he
look
look
like?
like a? Because that's Ving Rhames. That's Ving Rhames in
Gotcha.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
There you go. Which I posted about on my review. It's crazy that Bing Rames is in this, but he was also in the original Lilo and Stitch, and the live action
Same
is coming out
week.
the exact
Yeah.
same weekend.
Oh, is he in the live action?
No, he's not.
No,
That's
he
what
should have
I read.
been.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, should have been. I mean, his character wasn't done any justice, so maybe he missed out. But you went to the drive-in last night, Brock, which is sick. You liked it a
Yeah,
little bit better. You liked it a little bit better in the drive-in.
I did. Yeah, because we went with my daughter and some of my nieces and nephews, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Would you go to
Then we.
Hollywood?
No, no. It's called Melody 49. It's in towards Dayton.
I've
Probably
been
not
there.
too far from you. Have you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Work film. Yeah.
I've been to Hollywood, Starlight, and Melody 49. Those are the
Yeah,
3 I've been to.
Melody's the nicest. Yeah, I liked it a little bit more.
Which,
It's kind of
Brock, I
hard
don't
not
know.
to like it when you got like a little kid. Like, oh my gosh, Stitch.
Which, Brock, I don't know if you heard me mention a few episodes ago, but the first time I ever went to a drive-in was a double feature of Vampires Suck and the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Awful.
That's a hell of a.
What
That's
a
a terrible double feature, dude. Oh my god,
Jeez. Big, and he's never even watched the animated show. What ass.
dude.
Wow. What a way to
Sorry.
see ass on the big screen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. I'll be praying for you. My god, that's awful.
On the plus side, I was like 12, so I didn't know any better.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right. That's right. Well, let's fast. I mean, you're older now and you still haven't watched the animated show, so you do know better now. So I'm going to critique you a little bit there. But
Hey,
Brock,
I mean, if we want to talk about something that's older, I'm just now getting to the Mission Impossible franchise that started in what, 99?
bro, you can start 96. You can start it now. Start Avatar now. Do it real quick. Just
You want me to hop off the episode, or you want me to finish that out first?
It's up to you. Up to you. We can hear Brock's favorite movie first, which I'm pretty sure I know what Brock's favorite is, because it's probably the same as mine. But Brock, you go ahead.
It is indeed Mission Impossible Fallout by a Tom Cruise mile for sure. I love that movie. It's the best of the best. Great stunts, great characters, a great villain. Yeah, seeing that IMAX 2018 during the summer, it was awesome. I remember seeing it with a bunch of my friends. We were hyped, and it's such a tight script. It just moves. I love the opening, and it because it kind of sets up that theme of Ethan Hunt not being willing to sacrifice. That like does carry through 6, 7, and 8. But Henry Cavill pumping the arms. I remember this was the movie that like caused him to not shave his mustache for the original cut of the Justice League. So we were all super curious to see like what is
Oh,
they could
yeah.
not CGI this mustache, which is crazy.
Good
But
stuff.
yeah, no, it's the best. I think if this it almost seemed like the series could have ended after this, and I would have been perfectly okay with that. Like it's that good. Like it has a great ending. Ethan kind of gets you close out a lot of those different arcs with Julia. Um, and it just makes sense, man. I think this is the best cast easily too of the movie because you got Alec Baldwin, you got Angela Bassett, Henry Cavill, Rebecca Ferguson, um, Sean. What's his name? Sean. Yeah, Solomon Lane. I think he's a great villain. I love his physical look. Like he's kind of like the smooth evil villain, but then he's just like the rough, rugged guy and the syndicate and like all that stuff. Vanessa Kirby, gosh, I can't do like there's so many introduced so many different characters. The bathroom fight scenes, one of the best action fight scenes of an action movie we've gotten. Yeah, it's just the Halo jump, all of it's good. The helicopter payload stunt, which I feel like we'll talk more about that later. What stunts we like, but yeah, Fallout for me easily.
I also agree, Connor. Just so you know, this is the pretty common objective opinion of
I
this
know it is.
franchise. Yes, Fallout's the best. I know it's got like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which that doesn't
Damn.
really mean anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's high. And I told Brock on a review of The Final Reckoning, I think especially towards Dead Reckoning and The Final Reckoning, I think it introduces characters, especially way too late in the climactic finale of the franchise. This feels like a culmination. I wish Jeremy Renner was in this. Maybe it is a good thing he's not in this. It feels a little bit more concise with just having one less character. But the fact that you saw Alec Baldwin before, and the only person it really introduces besides Henry Cavill is Angela Bassett, but you get just enough of her. You don't need a whole lot of her. You understand that she's in charge of the CIA now, and she has a connection with Walker, Cavill's character, but that's all you really need. But I like that it's just Luther and Benji and Ilsa and Solomon Lane, who's a villain who carries over. We've never seen that before. And I guess an extension of him is Henry Cavill, and he's such a presence, and he's there right from the start, which I think is so effective. Like you feel the presence of this villain, you know his motivations, his just casting him in general. Cavill, he's such a large figure, like size wise. I mean, it's hard to ignore. So he feels like a very terrifying presence next to 5'8" Tom Cruise. And there are scenes where I think that Cavill could have snapped him in half, but it's a movie. We can't have that
Yeah.
happen. But yeah, all the action. I mean, the Halo jumps right at the start, but then you go right into I think like the first nightclub scene really we've ever seen. It doesn't necessarily all take place there. I know that comes in Dead Reckoning, but just the fact that the White Widow, Vanessa Kirby, adds a lot of pizzazz to the story just at the very beginning, and she's also in this not very much, just the perfect amount of time. And I told Brock this. Mission Impossible 3, the best thing that I think it did was introduce a character who can really rock Ethan's world, and that's Jules. And I like what they did with her character. It makes sense for his position in the IMF. The fact that she has some random connection with Luther as well. He's like helped her adapt her life after meeting Ethan. But then you also get her in this film. And I think it's so, even though you've seen her in dream sequences, you've seen her in two dream sequences before she pops up at the very end in that medical camp. When she goes, he's like, it doesn't like. Sometimes I feel like a movie can be framed and shot in a way where you are expecting a plot twist to happen. You just hear Ethan. He's just about to go into somewhere, and you hear his name called out, and he knows exactly who it is before he turns around, and it's chilling. And the fact that she wants to help them, and she knows it's such an interesting dynamic. The fact that her husband is just such a likable guy. It's like, oh man, thanks for being here. But she knows that if they're here, it's not a good thing. And she's willing to help them. I think it just adds so much such an emotional core to this story. Um, it's great, man. The set pieces go. I mean, you could think like when it comes to Final Reckoning, I think it's like the submarine and it's the plane and that's it. They do take a long time, 15, 20 minutes. But the fact that you have the Halo jump, which I feel like the Halo jump in Final Reckoning would spend like 15, 20 minutes because it's a huge stunt. It's huge. It's a big thing. And they would build that up and they would do it. The fact that the Halo jump goes right into the White Widow, goes right into something else, goes right into the bathroom scene, that's like 40 minutes of the movie that are incredibly engaging the entire time. And then you have this whole chase sequence that lasts like for 45 minutes and they're trying to get Solomon Lane and it just keeps on going. And then Ilsa comes into the picture and then like Hunt runs her over. I'm like, this is incredible. And they shoot it in Paris, they shoot it in London. It's just so good. It's so good. Like I said, I just like that everyone feels like they have just enough screen time. Also, little thing here is something you might have not been expecting when it comes to any of the other movies. This is new for the franchise, but the fact that Alec Baldwin dies. I don't
Yeah.
think we've ever seen a main character die like that before who wasn't a villain. You get I'm not going to spoil Final Reckoning for Connor because Connor hasn't watched it just yet.
I
But
heard.
okay, but that comes more towards the end, and I feel
Yeah,
like
for our audience.
yeah, that's different for the sixth movie. I love when characters die. I mean, it's kind of a morbid thought, but I feel like it adds some realistic stakes to the story. So good. Also,
Well, I was gonna say,
the Syndicate, and everything with Solomon Lane. I was listening for it, and I realized at the end of Ghost Protocol, that is something that is mentioned, and that Ghost
Yep.
Protocol wasn't directed by Brad Bird. He gets a call at the very end, and like one of the last words you hear is the Syndicate. And I like that Christian McQuarrie took that. He's like, sure,
Yeah,
let's
let's carry that over.
let's go with the Syndicate. And I think they're
One
really good villains. Well, the prophets in this, but
I was
the
gonna say
apostles.
two things you just said that I want to comment on. I think you're missing like one of the more pivotal scenes, in my opinion, is at the very end of Fallout is when Julia is talking to Ethan and she's like, "No, I'm happy." Like, and after he's like trying to apologize, I think that's like one of the best scenes in the movie. And two, you mentioned you like when characters die, which sounds fucked up, but I know exactly what you mean because that was my biggest gripe with The Boys season 4, and I won't stop talking about it. But
Yeah.
like everyone just has plot armor now.
Yeah.
And like this movie, Fallout, makes it feel like plot armor's gone.
Yep. I've heard this the scene. One of my favorite scenes I forgot to mention real quick before we move on is that dream sequence when he's talking with the White Widow about like the heist to get Lane and like how we don't know that that's not real. Like when he's like going to some dark places and he's like, I've got to like kill an innocent police officer, and then that whole sequence when they escape and he kind of turns the plan around and how they get him and like that underwater sequence is great too. Just action set pieces just go crazy.
I think it's really even the opening is a lot different. It feels like this is the stakes are like at their highest because the opening is just a dream sequence of him getting married to the Jewels and Solomon Lane's like the officiant there, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, these are the two individuals that are plaguing his mind in a good or in a bad way, and
Yeah.
then that carries out to the ending of the film. And like I said, you kind of I remember watching this for the first time. I wasn't a big Mission Impossible pilled guy until Dead Reckoning. I watched all of them for Dead Reckoning. And I remember getting the fall, and I still didn't expect her to pop up at the end. I think it is supposed to be a twist. Like you're not supposed to expect her to be there. Really effective. One of my favorite characters. I love it, love it. So Connor, Fallout or Ghost Protocol. Now that you've heard all this,
I'll
don't
probably
don't let
lean.
us don't let us don't let us sway you, bro. Don't let us sway you.
You'll never sway any of my opinions.
Okay.
But no, I mean it's probably Fallout. But I had just a lot of fun with Ghost Protocol. Which Stone, what's your next question?
Oh, my next question for us is: what is your favorite Tom Cruise stunt that has been in any of these films? Connor,
Climbing the tower in Dubai,
Burj Khalifa.
the Burj Khalifa. I don't know. I just that one felt like the stakes were like awesome. Plus, I'm gonna like continue it into the action set pieces after that when they actually do have the meetings and those hand to hand combat scenes are just awesome. But like actually, one like it's super tense when his one glove just shits the bed on him, so then he has to like actually just use his rock climbing skills. Cutting it, all the different positions he has to be in, but then also the fact that they're willing to throw humor in there too. When Jeremy Renner looks up at him and he's like, "Your rope's not long enough."
He's like, no shit. That was good.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that entire like scene. And like I've already mentioned, Ghost Protocol as a whole.
Can I say one thing about that sequence in general that I
No.
really like that I feel like they forget in like a Final Reckoning is I like how they're their plan doesn't, or what their strategy doesn't go according to plan. Like it messes up, and you think that they're gonna solve all this one way, and it's like, oh, okay, the masks aren't working. Let's just hope they haven't met each other. Like I really like that, and I feel like it's really unexpected, and it adds a level of tension not only to the audience but also the characters themselves because they don't know if it's gonna work. And me and Brock have talked about it with our Final Reckoning review, but the fact that you never worry if anything's not going to go according to plan because it's Ethan Hunt and you're just like superhero man. Which I I got a little bit of the Incredibles in Ghost Protocol when it came to the Burj Khalifa because like him walking on the, it just feels like a superhero movie, but like kind of realistic ish. I mean, I don't know if you can buy those gloves on the black market, but I don't know if I would do that. But Brock, would you?
Uh, I do it on like my house first. I ain't going Burj Khalifa straight
No,
away.
that's right.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll do it in like downtown Cincinnati or something.
yeah. There you go. There you go.
Is that your favorite too, Brock?
Burj Khalifa is because I for all the
Okay.
reasons Connor stated, just because it's perfect. It's stakes. Again, I saw it in IMAX when I was in high school. That's like I wish they would have re-released some of these in theaters. That would have been sick seeing that again in IMAX. That would have been awesome. But the plan doesn't go to crap. There's a time again. Here's a good Mission Impossible, like to me, stunt sequence. There's a mission. They don't have a lot of time. There's stakes. There's good cutting back and forth with like the secondary conflicts, like with them trying to like get like the data or whatever it is. Practicality, obviously the stunts are great. And then right as like things are going good, swoon that score in, and they do that perfectly when he starts running down the side of the building, and then just like that jump, and then one last little thing there at the end where you're like, you don't feel like he's gonna make it, and he barely does. Like literally, they all like barely hold each other by the skin of their pants, you know. So like to me, I think that's great. Um, the other one I was going back and forth with was again Mission Possible 3. I think the Shanghai skydiving thing is underrated too when he jumps off the building because he actually did that too, like run it off and like try to jump to get the rabbit's foot. I love that one. But yeah, Burj Khalifa, I just think because again, see, that's the one that still. And the one Final Reckoning was good, the biplane, but again, lack of stakes, lack of danger for Ethan Hunt is really what kind of takes me out of that. But Burj Khalifa.
I think my pick might be, with how long it's been around, might be the most famous of any of the stunts, and that is the Langley CIA break-in in the
Oh
very
yeah,
first movie. I mean, it's the first movie. The stakes, the stunts weren't as big. It's 1996, but they make it. Ryan De Palma and his direction and the room, and you can't make a temperature go up. You can't make a sound. You can't touch anything. It just adds so much beautiful tension. And they have they just came out with a report or a story about this scene a couple days ago where they said that Tom kept on hitting his face over and over again on the floor, so they had to put like coins in his socks to like counterbalance him, which I thought was really
oh
interesting. So
wow.
this yeah, yeah, you should look it up. Yeah, they put coins like in his shoes or in his socks because he kept on smacking his face on the floor. But yeah, it's really good, and there's a lot of split diopter shots here that De Palma uses that are really cool. There's one where Cruz is in the ceiling, and you have the CIA. Hold on, let me say the guy's name because I feel disrespectful because he pops up. This isn't a spoiler, Connor, because he is in posters. But the guy who is supposed to be in that CIA room, uh, William Dunlow, he pops up in Final Reckoning, which is a callback to the very first movie, which is kind of wild.
Huh.
So maybe
Okay.
that was a spoiler because you wouldn't have known after you watched Final Reckoning. But sorry, I just spoiled it for you.
I'll probably forget by the time we get there, if you want me to be completely honest with you.
Good, good. I was hoping for that. But yeah, I mean, when you Shrek 2 does a callback to the stunt, I mean, you know that it's
Yeah.
going
Oh
to be
Lord.
famous forever. When
Oh
Pinocchio's out
Lord.
there trying to be Ethan Hunt, everyone's trying to be Ethan Hunt. That's all I can say.
Yeah. You know,
Not
it's
even
been parodied so much. It's been parodied so much that almost can kind of forget how good it is, though. I think genuinely. So that is a good point. I mean, it's the most iconic thing from the franchise. Like you show that, everyone knows that that's Mission Impossible.
Well, and I mean, you say that like I haven't seen these movies before, but like 2-3 months ago, I have a video of me like doing the like song just like with my mouth while I had my daughter just by the back of her shirt to grab a toy from the floor.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I mentioned it briefly, but the scene where his glasses and you see sweat just dripping off his glasses, and there's just a drop right there. But then that drop doesn't make it come down. Another streak comes down. Another sweat drop comes down and joins that drop, and you're like, oh no! And he
Yeah.
just gets it just in time. And you have the rat that's coming in. Oh, yeah, the agent who's, or I guess it's a CIA agent, but he's like throwing up. Will they have enough time? How are they going to get out of this? They really don't get out of it because you would think in a normal spy movie, oh, they just get away with it. They kind of don't. They're just really good at their disguises and they get out. Like they know they
Yep.
stole it, but they just can't find them. Good
Yeah,
stuff,
that
man.
actually, hold on. That scene doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me though, if we're gonna
Yeah.
like really talk about it, because they talked about how this like room itself can detect if you're warmer than what you like should be, basically. And the CIA agent who goes in there regularly is sick and like very obviously sweating from throwing up and is running a fever, and like the room just doesn't trigger that.
Well, I would say also it maybe it takes some time for
What's
it to
up?
happen. Well, it doesn't. What you say it doesn't trigger it. He gets sick after. So he
Yeah.
doesn't go. He doesn't go in there sick. So the alarm's already off when he runs in there sick. So maybe it could have gone out. Maybe the plot hole that you're seeing is
No, the alarm's
John
not
Grubb.
off already by the time he gets in there.
Yeah, it is because something. Yeah, something happens.
No,
The alarm
because
goes off.
he
No, no,
walks
no.
in,
You're
he
right. You're
sees
right.
the
Because
knife,
that
and
knife is
then
just
he
thrown
looks
in.
up, the lasers are back on.
You're right. You're right. But
I know.
sure. I guess they set off an alarm regardless. So even if it isn't the temperature alarm, but I guess maybe he got over it. Maybe their whatever they drugged him with was only short acting, and his temperature went back down to normal. I mean, he was throwing up quite a lot. Don't come for my stuff, bro. I'll point out some stuff about Burj Khalifa that don't make sense. Like he probably fall and die.
Yeah, like he just turned himself into Spider-Man real quick. Yeah, I get it. You can come after it.
That's cool though. You're right, though, Brock. When that goes, and he's like running down it. You're like, oh.
Oh yeah, dude. Like hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. It's so
All
good.
right, Connor. You want to go with your favorite villain next? Favorite villain of the franchise? I think I have a different one, but I think I know who you guys are gonna pick. But
I forget his name, but Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Owen Davian. Mm-hmm.
Owen Davian, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he's arguably a top 10 actor of all time. Some people have him higher. So I mean, you knew the performance was going to be good. I like the mystery that his character has around him, but also the mystery that the rabbit's foot has around him in the whole movie in itself.
I like that as
Yeah,
well.
I knew
I
you would
love that.
appreciate that, Stone.
Yes. A lot of people have issue with the
Again,
rabbit's foot and not figuring out what it is, but I like it. I love it.
but then also, the Stone. Anyway, where's I going with this? Oh yeah, but then again, back to what I was saying before, like the whole memeable thing. Like everyone's seen the meme of Philip Seymour Hoffman just
No.
looking disappointed and Tom Cruise just looking in pain, saying no.
No. Yeah. Yes.
I would say that what a crazy way to open up the movie too.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Now
It
I
might
guess
be the
they
best
don't-
opening in a movie.
Yeah, they do.
It
They do
is.
shorten it. You kind of see it again, which I don't necessarily love, but they do shorten it. Like you don't see the entire scene over again. I think it goes from like
Yeah.
1 to 8. Like you skip all of that.
I do like that they re-show it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But great pick. I think it's like the pick. Brock, what we got?
Oh yeah. Owen Davian, dude. I'm in my 3 Glazer. I mean, yeah, that opening scene is the best in the franchise, I think. I think it's one of the best openings in a movie, period, because it up until this point, you have not seen anybody out intensify Tom Cruise, and Philip Seymour Hoffman like just is he's stone cold evil. And the fact that like he shot who we thought was Julia at the time, and that's how we kicked it off. It was just kind of wild, but like just the desperation. I think people do credit Philip Seymour Hoffman a lot. I think you also have to credit Tom Cruise a lot in that opening scene too, because his desperation, like he's just like, dude, I'll do anything, like, and he just doesn't care. He's just like, where's the rabbit foot? He's like, what do you like? We gotta talk about this. Where is it, Ethan? He's just like, hold on, just hold on. And he's like, no, like, you don't think I'll do it? You don't think I'll do it? Like, I say that all the time. Like, it's yeah. I mean that, and like just the little thing of like he's in control the whole time. Like the airplane sequence, they're trying to get information out of him, and he just starts messing with Ethan.
That's
And
so good,
oh,
dude.
dude, it's so good. And Ving Rhames makes the mistake of saying his name, and that's all he needed, man. And he was
that's
just
so
like,
good.
yeah, and he does it. He's like, remember when I told you I was gonna kill you in front of your wife? Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do it. And he has a brutal. You talk about brutal endings. He has one of the most brutal deaths of a villain, I think.
That's
The
true.
car, dude, like when they're fighting the street, he just rolls over and just like that. You just see his shoes, like it's crazy. But rest in peace to one of the greats. Yeah, I think even what other scene is it? Like his escape scene's really cool too. But yeah, he's ruthless, man. He was great, well casted. Perfectly put up against honorable mention. I mean, my second favorite, not that we're doing second favorite, but like August Walker, Henry Cavill was great too. He's one of the good ones for sure too. But
That'd
yeah,
be my
easily,
number two.
yeah, Owen Davian to the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I will say one issue that I have with like the interrogation scene, I just think it's funny, is as he's counting up and he gets like 9 or 10, Hunt's way of trying to correct the situation or to get him to stop is like, bro, come on, you're not that guy. He's like, let's be a good person for a second here. I'm like, what? In what world did you think that was gonna work? He's like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Well, you
let's be
gotta
real.
Desperate
you
Let's be
gotta
real
times.
think.
people.
You got to think he just had a chip implanted in his brain. He was drugged as well, so he's still out of it. He's just like trying to
Maybe.
save it.
I was
His
good.
wife, because I do
Sure.
I do always kind of laugh at that a little bit.
I mean, we've seen him go through every emotion. He's yelled at him. He's just tried to like
Yeah.
shake angrily. He's
Okay,
just been
maybe
like,
it's
kill
like,
me,
dude, this
not
guy
her.
has some kind of conscience. Be like, dude, like you're
No,
evil. This is really bad. Don't you dare.
he put a chip into a girl earlier that you had a thing for. Yeah, man. I'm like, come on.
Oh, the casting, her, what's her name, Carrie Russell in this.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Lindsay.
was
Yep.
such a shock, and then she's just gone. That's so good. Is the cast a very recognizable and famous actress, and you'd be like, okay, they're gonna stick around. Oh, gotcha. You thought they were gonna be here
Yeah,
for a little bit.
yeah. That her death is brutal too. Like that little twitch. Like again,
Mm-hmm.
unexpected. It was good.
A little CGI they do make her eye look all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Solomon Lane for my favorite villain.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I
Yeah.
said, this is the only one. Let me think. This is the only villain that carries over from one film to another. The only
You'd be
guy.
correct. Yep.
Yep. And I've always liked it when it comes to my villains, especially when I think about Star Wars and what the sequels did. I talked to Dan and Connor about this before. I don't find it very menacing when villains scream and they're like, "I'm gonna get you." Now it's different when it comes to Philip Seymour Hoffman. I would say he honestly sounds terrifying, and he's in a situation that is terrifying. Ethan's in a situation where you are terrified of him and how much power he has in that moment. But you also have scenes of him acting very reserved, and he's like 4, 5, like
Yeah.
when he goes extreme or when he's very reserved. Love it. Solomon Lane is always like that, and he does reflect in his personality and in the character what Ethan thinks of him is that he's so intellectual and he's so smart and he's always 5, 6, 7 steps ahead, and he's like, no, he knows that we're going to go here. That's exactly what he wants you to think. And he's such a smart villain, and I love the Syndicate. I think it's a very interesting dilemma for the IMF and for the world in general. All these rogue or ex agents have all gotten together and they think that they don't want to follow orders anymore. I mean, they follow orders and look at the world. It continues to be in peril over and over again. So why don't we just start our own IMF? And that's what the Syndicate is. And Solomon Lane is just inside of Ethan's head. And I think Sean Harris does a great job. He also does like a voice. I would say I don't know how Sean Harris usually talks. I don't know if that's his normal voice.
Ethan. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like really kind of
Yeah, and I like
yeah.
that. I like it's a little like cartoony. It's a little like this is an adventure film. This is a movie, and I like that you have someone like that because I don't think that really happens really in any of the other Mission Impossible movies. So Solomon Lane, very memorable. I think there's a reason why they had him stick around.
Well, I guess technically Gabriel does carry over, doesn't he? Or do you say he was the first?
No, we're not gonna talk.
No.
We ain't talk about no Dead Reckoning Part One and the Final Reckoning.
I got you.
And even then, technically the first to carry over because Gabriel didn't come in till 7 movies later.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's like more of like one of the same movie. Okay.
Let's say he's the first one. Solomon Lane was the first one.
Yeah.
Which was different. Like, I feel like a lot of people went into Fallout not expecting to see Solomon Lane, and they're like, oh, shoot. And I mean, right away, oh, dude. The first time you hear him speak in Fallout is he's so quiet. He's just chilling, taking everything in as they're like trying to get him out of this situation where they basically kidnap him or free him at the same time. And then the only time he speaks is when he runs over Ilsa, and somebody goes, "That was Ilsa."
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
very, very interesting what's going on right here. He's like, you just ran over Ilsa. So I just love that. I love that. And then Ethan's like, shut up. Ethan just hates the guy so much. He is the villain who Gabriel thinks that he is to Ethan. Like, oh, this is your arch enemy, someone who's been a part of your life for forever, who can really get inside your head. No, that's Solomon Lane. That's Solomon Lane. And even as much as I love Owen and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, the reason why he's so menacing is because of someone else. His connection to someone else in Ethan's life, not necessarily to Ethan. Solomon's the one who's like, Ethan thinks about late at night. He don't think about Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I'll disagree a little bit of that because he took Lindsay, the girl that Ethan really cared about, and that was his connection. And then he threatens Julia, so like he really got to Ethan. I think that's the only rebuttal I'll say to that a little bit.
But yeah, Solomon Lane, great name too. Solomon Lane,
yes,
good villain name. Great villain name. Maybe that could be like a Star Wars. We were talking about Star Wars a couple episodes ago and what the best names were. Solomon Lane, yeah, I can see him being a Sith, Empire, something like that. Just saying. That adds
kind of sounds like a name that would pop up in Rebels.
Yeah, I would agree.
I have a good villain name. What's Owen's Davies?
Owen Davian.
Davian. Davian's pretty good. Owen. Oh no, it's Owen.
Yeah.
Come on. Solomon though? Damn. Like that's a biblical name, man. That guy's got a presence.
It is.
All right. Anyways, favorite side character. Well, that's our next category. Connor, we got a lot to choose from. A lot of movies, a lot of people. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Rebecca Ferguson.
That's good.
Or Ilsa. Speaking of which, my tweet is doing very well for what I sent out while watching that.
Yeah, he was I love Rebecca Ferguson. That's like 99% of the reviews on Letterboxd are just about Rebecca Ferguson.
I'm shocked.
There's a lot of boys.
Honestly, people need to talk about her more in the Dune movies.
That's when my dad fell in love with the Mission Impossible franchise.
My kids will say that. Yeah. Also, don't take marital advice from me, but I literally said that word for word to my wife last night.
What'd you say?
Because my wife literally was like, "Isn't that the girl who sings Never Enough?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What's her name?" And I was like, "Oh, mommy. I mean, Rebecca Ferguson."
This guy trying to sleep on the couch.
Yeah. I slept on the couch last night just because I was tired, though. But yeah, that'll get you there. My wife was not here, by the way. I was here by myself, so I could sleep on the couch.
No, my wife literally looked at me and went, "Really? Her?"
Yeah, she got a good name too. Ilsa Faust. That's a good name.
That's a great name.
That's a really cool name. Yeah, let's move on past her attractiveness. No, I some of like my favorite hand-to-hand combat scenes in this entire franchise include her. And like the motorcycle chase scene is so dope. I love that you don't know. It feels like she's playing 3 sides and you don't know which one is going to come out on top. So like outside of Rebecca Ferguson and herself, like every time she was on screen, like I was locked in because I wanted to figure out, who was she going to like fall with? Was it going to be her country? Was it going to be the people that had all this leverage over her? Or was it going to be Ethan Hunt? Like,
yeah, she does seem like she's really playing for like 3 different sides at the exact same time. And I love how they always like pin her up against Ethan in an interesting way. Like she's always trying to kill him, but she's like, "No, I'm not really trying to kill you," even though it looks like I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to kill the guy next to you. Like, oh, okay. I wasn't really trying to kill the Chancellor of Austria or whatever. I was trying to just to harm him, like you were. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's just give a quick shout out to that booth sniper scene with her though.
The opera is awesome. It's
Yeah,
a
but
great setup for an action, like
yeah,
tension, everything.
I also loved the flute gun
Same.
Yeah,
or
it's sweet.
whatever type of instrument that was, but that was so cool.
I also love that Ethan's like, okay, let me try to figure this out real quick. He's like, all right, bullet, no bullet. Oh, there's a bullet right here. Bullet. All right, let me I'll fire this off real quick. Loved it. All right, Brock. I don't know who you. I don't know. What's the favorite side character? Let's see.
Jimmer, no. I was gonna say Alec Baldwin. I was gonna mess with you. No, for me, I think just because it's especially what they did with him at the end of Final Reckoning, definitely got to go Luther for sure. I think he's just the one that's been with Ethan the longest. He knows him the most. He's that guy that'll tell him like there isn't anyone besides Luther that like realized the importance of the mission, especially like in Fallout. Going back to like in the opening, he's like, "Don't do it for me, man." Like he has to tell him that all the time. Like, don't listen. There are things more important than me. Especially that first Mission Impossible. Ving Rhames is smooth, man. He's just got such a sweet style. And I think if you're gonna do the hacker technology guy, like I think this is the trope to do it, or like the stereotype. Like make him cool, make him sleek, don't make him like nerdy, make him someone who can still get out there in the field. And I like that he's still involved. Yeah. Well, who? Yeah. Yeah, they try. Yeah, Ludacris will never be Ving Rhames. He'll never be as cool as Luther. He wish he could.
Can I say something small? I like you just mentioned it. I like that he's not your stereotypical like nerdy looking guy.
No, he's
Like
not.
he's a big burly boy, and he's just like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
the computer dude. I love that.
he can hold his own. Yeah, I love his introduction too. Like in the first one, like kind of how they're like still trying to feel each other out a little bit, and like he's like, I'm just here for a job, and like just seeing their relationship evolve. Like I love that. One of my favorite scenes between them is I think it's hilarious is the mask scene in the third one when he's getting the mask for Owen Davian. He was like, "You got to think about this, man. Like talk about getting married," and he doesn't realize that Ethan's already married, and whatnot.
Oh,
And he's just like trying to break it down for her, whatnot. And like he calls them out too, like just little things like in Mission Impossible 3. He was like, when Lindsay died, he was like, she was like a sister to me. He's like, do you sleep with your sister, Ethan? He's like, like calling him out. And just I think he's got great comedic moments and such, like and Fallout, or she's like, when Jules is like trying to figure out what's going on with Ethan, he's like, don't even ask. He's like, you just know how it is. So I think it's great. And same old Ethan, yeah. I think the best style. I think I think when Simon Pegg's really good as Benji. Benji's definitely probably like my number 2 for sure, number 2 or 3, right behind Elsa. But like he's more manic. Like when he's like trying to like Ethan, like you gotta like Ethan gotta do that. But like Luther's like matter of fact, Ethan like this is what you have to do. Like you got to do this. Like and he's more just like controlled and calm, just little things like that. But yeah, shout out to Luther.
I will say something that's comedic. I was thinking of Fallout 2 because I just got done watching it. There's just a funny discussion who's gonna fake being Solomon Lane. And it's basically because it's a small intimate crew, so it's just between Luther and Benji.
Yeah.
Luther's like, dude, they're not gonna believe it. Look at me.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I thought that was really good. I like that a lot. Because you're so knowledgeable about this franchise, Brock. Do you know why he wasn't really in?
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol, yeah.
Yeah, I think because I think Simon Pegg was really kind of coming on at the time with Star Trek, so he was kind of more of like the bankable star at the time. And I think maybe Ving Rhames was doing I forget the movie. I know he was doing something, but they obviously did throw him there at the end, just to keep like the his streak of going. To kind of do it. But yeah, he wasn't fully part of the team. I actually know. Yeah, I think it was actually no, it was budget issues with the movie and the IMF being like shut down. Because like there was a big gap between the largest gap in breaks. Mission Impossible 3 came out in 2006. Ghost Protocol came out in 2011. It's like a pretty decent gap. Actually, I guess like Fallout and Dead Reckoning 5 years anyway, so
yeah,
not too long.
COVID came into that though.
COVID and Tom Cruise doing Top Gun Maverick as well. So yeah, I think they were like, "Ooh, Ving Rhames, established actor, versus this guy who's just kind of coming up. Let's do that." But then I think Christopher McQuarrie is like, "No, we got to bring him back." So, but a little cameo there at the end, which is hilarious too. He's like, "You really said that?" Mission completed. Anyway, I love Luther.
talking about him goes really well to my character, and I won't talk about her too much, but I just love Jules and Julia. I just love
Wow.
what she,
Okay.
yeah, I love what she brings. Every time she pops up, I think it just changes Ethan. It just makes the stakes feel different. He emotionally changes because that's like the one person he has felt like a really true connection to. Um, and until we get maybe towards the end of the franchise, there's people who get on that level. But I like that we just get introduced to the fact that he's just married to her in the third one, or he's like engaged to her, has found someone, is supposedly was out of it, or maybe was out of it for a little bit and found her, and he's back in it. But you don't have the gravitas of Owen as a villain if you don't have Julia in the picture at all.
I would
So
agree.
just introducing a love interest is great. I think Michelle Monaghan is really good as her as well. Just a recognizable face, beautiful. As the films go on, I think that's very important to have in these movies, especially because they're like James Bond. Like, who's gonna be Ethan Hunt's girl? That's Ethan Hunt's girl. I believe it. So, all right. Finishing it up here, we got just two more categories. We'll go really quick, but face reveal. Connor, who we got? Your best face reveal, mask reveal. What we got?
First mention of this movie. It's going to be
Oh.
from number 2.
Oh yeah.
I loved the mask reveal at the end when the mask is actually Ethan Hunt, and he was like, talking. I don't even remember the bad guy's name in that one. But then when Ethan Hunt is portraying that dude's henchman, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I broke his boss jaw, or broke his jaw, boss," and then that's why he like isn't talking, and then he actually kills him, and then he sees just his little like taped up finger that he like has. That was my favorite one.
Sean Ambrose. What a
Thank you.
dumb name
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Dougray Scott. Dude, he unloads on him. My God.
Yeah. The coolest scarf catch of all time, though.
I sent them a video, Brock, of when Naya comes to him for the very first time. Her scarf like flies off, and he like catches it really dramatically. I'm
Oh my God, dude, that's so stupid.
I think the only way that works is if you put Anthony Banderas in that role. I feel like he could catch a scarf in slow motion and make it cool.
Yo, Antonio Banderas as the villain of this, that would have been sick.
That would have been
especially in 2000. He was hot in 2000, man. Spy Kids era.
Hot now.
Zorro.
I would leave Tom Cruise for 2000 to Antonio Banderas. Just saying. Just being honest.
But yeah. So first mention of that movie, which is funny because actually one of my favorite action set pieces too is from that movie. I really liked the dirt bike chase scene, or like the motorcycle chase scene in that one. But the fist fight scene after that sucks.
On the beach, yeah, it's too stupid.
I say, just don't say that car. I call it the car lovemaking scene where they're just like crashing into each other and falling in love as they do it. Just don't say that one. It's very strange. I don't understand that at all. But Brock, I'm curious, man. What is yours going to be?
I'll go with this one. The IMF or nothing but boys playing dress up for Halloween, and August Walker Fallout when it's Benji, because it's like Benji's so anxious the whole time to like get in the field. He wants to be in the field. Like there's always that especially in that one, he's like, I want to be part of it. I want to be hands on. And like August Walker, this guy who like we think like he's got an ego. He knows he's better. Like he gets duped. And just like that scene, because you really do think it's like, oh, it's Ethan's done. Like Alec Baldwin's like, dude, he's like, why do you think he's here? They think you are whoever John Lark. They think you're John Lark. Like it's over, dude. And Ethan's like, no, like he can't accept it. Then just to see that happen, and I think that's great. Because again, give me a good foreshadowing, give me a good callback. They set up that line very well, and then it's like I remember seeing it in theaters when he's like, he's like, whoever the Angela Bassett character, she was right. The IMF, nothing but people, but he's like, and everyone in the theater was like, oh, like everyone realized that like he just got duped. It's great. I love it.
I also think Sean Harris's acting is really good there because there's like a split moment. I mean, because it's Simon Pegg, it's Benji, so there's like a quick moment where he lets down his like villain persona and he like looks over at that computer. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, it is.
Like
yeah, just a little subtle. Yeah, we kind of lost some of those. Like 7 and 8 didn't really have like iconic mask. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I'm so sorry. Final Reckoning had a really good mask sequence with Vanessa Kirby as Grace. That was really good. Like how intent, like with her, like her trying to keep the deal going. But
Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning. Final Reckoning. Is there a mask scene in Dead Reckoning?
The beginning. in the beginning when they're trying to recruit that one agent with Palm's character when she's escaping.
Yeah, that's so
But that's
lame
it.
though.
I
That's
know,
such
but
a
it's
lame one.
so lame. It was an afterthought. Yeah, it was totally an afterthought.
Brock, I'm happy you brought that up too, because like Benji wasn't starting to annoy me so much in these movies.
Or no, that
Oh,
was-
my
that was
buddy's
French
like,
fries.
yeah, he's just kind of, he's just like that annoying little kid that just wants to hang out with the older brother. Like that's kind of how he comes off sometimes, Benji. I'm like, that's a fair criticism. He's like, I just want to be Ethan. I just want to help. I just want to help. It sounds like I understand that a little bit.
What annoyed me about Benji was like the fact that like he was like introduced as like kind of the nerdy guy who went to hang out with his older brother, but like he didn't develop past that. Like in what was it, number 5, I think? He was like reading the map. He's like, "Oh, sorry, my screen lock was on," and then he's like, "Oh, sorry, I had it in 2D." Like, come on, man. You've been doing how many missions with Ethan? Like,
Yeah, that's
I like
true.
it's a little bit of humor I like, and I think Simon Pegg's really good at pulling that off. And these films are ridiculous to a point, so I think humor is really good. Um, but you might like Final Reckoning more because I feel like Simon Pegg isn't necessarily used for the comedic. There's not a whole lot of comedy in the Final Reckoning, but he's used way more seriously. So you might like that a little bit better. But I would say my favorite mass reveal, shocker. Well, it's kind of what you say, Connor, because I feel like the second movie is a little bit of a plot twist because you're not expecting Tom Cruise's face to be a mask. The fact of Mission Impossible 3, and he actually shoots the girl, and he turns out not to be
Oh
Jules
yeah.
because they
Oh,
put
how did I forget that? Oh
yeah
my
they
god.
put
yeah.
Jules' face on somebody else, and you're like, oh, I forgot other people can make masks too. So that was a really good subversion of expectations as well. I think I wish it was a little bit more violent because I don't think they really show him shooting her. It just shows like a body, like her body slumped over. I think it would have been even more intense if you actually see her get shot. A little gruesome there, but I want stakes. I want to feel it in my heart, in my soul. But yeah, again, Jules, she's great. Love it. Used to perfection. All right, location. What we got, Connor?
the Vatican.
Oh,
The Vatican one kind of fascinates me and also pisses me off at the same time. So I just thought it was really cool that they were shooting. Well, I don't know if they shot on site. Do either of you know that?
They
I should
probably
have
did.
looked it.
oh yeah.
They probably
They're
did.
infamous for shooting these on sites.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should have looked it up, but like I also feel like they did. But yeah, I really liked that whole sequence. So short and sweet.
Well, what you got, bro?
Let me go. Let me go. Kashmir and Fallout. That whole third action set piece is really good, man. I love
That's
it. Like with them dipping with the helicopter, the fight between Lark, like them looking for him, like in the villages, and just what it means for the story. Between that and then I'd say probably Paris, France too in the same movie, Fallout. Like with the whole heist scene with them getting Solomon Lane and the motorcycle chase sequence. It's really good.
Seems like this Fallout movie is pretty good, pretty decent.
I would say so. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
I said I want to give a shout out to the Final Reckoning. This isn't going to be my pick, but they do something at the end where it's like a yellow and red plane against like a green backdrop
Oh
of
yeah.
they're in Africa. Very good colors there. Whose ever decision it was to have them pop like that, great decision. Because in Fallout, it's just like a black helicopter and a black helicopter. It's like okay, sure, but it just really pops and stands out in the Final Reckoning. But this is going to be a shocker. Crazy pick. I think that Australia really fits whatever John Woo's trying to do in Mission
Oh
Impossible 2.
Lord.
I think it really fits. If that movie was shot anywhere else, it wouldn't feel right to me. But the fact that it's the Sydney Opera House and it all takes place there, it kind of feels like a cool, beachy, vibey movie. And it's just throwing the sunglasses. I mean, come on, like explode. Give me Australia. I think that is the perfect movie. Like that ain't gonna take place in Paris. Ain't gonna take place in London. No, you got to give me the Outback, and I think that was a good decision. Hot take.
It's definitely a decision. It's definitely a decision.
All right, ranking Connor. What you got? Your first
All
time
right, so I still haven't seen
ever
number
watching it.
7.
Okay.
So honorable mention is 7 in last place right now.
Okay.
Then it's gonna go number 2. I feel wrong putting this here, but number 1. Then 3. I'm gonna forget the names. Stone's gonna chime in to help me out here. Then in my third spot, it's gonna be number 5,
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. Then it's gonna be number 4, which
Those
is,
probably wrong.
and then number 6.
The best one, Fallout.
Yeah.
At least you don't forget the best one. All right, Brock. I don't know if I know your ranking, man. I know.
It's on
Well,
Letterboxd.
I know what what one of your personal favorites is. So.
Okay. So we're doing bottom to top, right? Worst to best?
Yeah.
Okay. 8th place, Mission Impossible 2. No debate on that, in my opinion. 7th place, maybe a hot take, because I've seen a lot of people have this a lot higher. Mission Impossible 1. 6 is Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. 5, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1, because that's what it's still titled, unfortunately. Number 4, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Number 3, Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation. Number 2, Mission Impossible 3. And number 1, Mission Impossible 6, Fallout.
All right. Bottom, Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Then we go with Final Reckoning.
Wow. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm just kidding.
Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
Yeah, Ghost Protocol next. So that's in the 6th.
What?
Dead Reckoning in 5th. 4th, Mission Impossible 3. 3rd, we got Rogue Nation. 2nd, the original Mission Impossible. How dare
Wow.
you? That movie it feels so different. It feels so different than the other ones, and I like that. And it goes 100 miles per hour. The plot moves like so fast. It's so quick. Like when you figure out that like the whole aquarium sequence, which is Tom Cruise's idea, that takes place like 30 minutes in the movie, and you're like, what? How did that take place like 30 minutes in the movie? I thought that was the very beginning. So good. It's also the shortest, so I think it's really quick. One thing I would improve is like maybe the final action set piece isn't the best, but it's also a picture of the times when it was made. And then
I'm setting off the entity right now.
You see how much he's trying to justify this right now, Brock? It sounds like you.
I was to say, man, yeah, just like what you like, man. Jeez.
It's the shortest one. I think. I mean, sometimes being too long is a con. Sometimes being too short is a con as well. But in this case, it's pro.
Yes, me, but
whatever. All right. That's what we got, Mission Impossible franchise. Let us know your rankings in the comments wherever you're watching this or listening to it. Tell them how good Mission Impossible is. The original one, Brian De Palma, 1996. The disrespect that it's getting right now. Goodness gracious. Any John Woo fans, go ahead and spam it. Let us know that we are wrong. That actually Mission Impossible 2 is a masterpiece. That fact that it takes place in Australia or around Australia is the best part of it. But yeah, Brock, dude, tell everyone where to find you. I feel like our audience maybe knows where to find you already.
The red carpet.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
You can find me at Movie Talk with Brock on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the Tiki Tacky, X, OnlyFans sometimes. I'm just kidding. I just had to cancel that recently. I'm just kidding. That's where you can find me. The Movie Talk with Brock everywhere.
Meeting up with Movie Shark in public now.
Yes, briefly. We're gonna get together again here soon. Told him his popcorn bucket. So it's nice, jealous. Like for my wife to put like these faces to like people that I actually talk to a lot. She's like, she knows I'm not crazy. So
I wanted to put this on really quick. Brock, thanks for joining us. I wanted to put this on to show people what we're talking about next week. It will be the Karate Kid films, which it's kind of crazy because we originally were going to have you on because you're a big Cobra Kai guy, but I don't know if 2 weeks of Brock, too much talking with the Brocket. I don't know, man.
Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know.
Karate Kid will be coming next week. We'll be discussing the original 3 films and also 2009, 2010's Karate Kid. What we got, Brock?
2010.
Yeah. Until then, guys, thanks for listening to us. Another great episode of Goodwill Podcasting, bright and early, but until Karate Kid, go outside, sit on a park bench, touch some grass, call up your friends, watch some damn good movies, and we'll see you then.